Damian Lillard is the best professional athlete rapper of all time.
Music was certainly an important part of our lives.
If it wasn't for soccer, I don't think I would have played in the NBA.
Now you won the American Century Championship as an active player, since this is a side job for you.
The NBA features the very best basketball players in the world. What you might not realize is that these guys have more than just one talent. In fact, some NBA players have some pretty ridiculous hidden talents. Milwaukee Bucks point guard Damian Lillard has been one of the best in his position for almost a decade. The 8-time All-Star and former Rookie of the Year is so talented on an NBA court, but he has a pretty impressive talent outside of basketball. While there are plenty of NBA players who have tried to rap, none have done it better than Dame. Under the stage name Dame Dollar, he has released 4 studio albums, the first of which was called The Letter O, charted on the Billboard 200. He was inspired to start rapping by his cousin Brookfield Deuce, who was an Oakland rapper. Despite also playing in the NBA full-time, Lillard has an impressive resume as a rapper. His third album even featured a guest appearance from Lil Wayne. Dame has his own record label called Front Page Music, which recently signed his cousin Brookfield Deuce. In 2020, Dame released a single called Kobe. It was a tribute to the late great Kobe Bryant. As a California kid, Dame grew up idolizing Kobe, wanting to be just like him. The song was even featured on the NBA 2K21 soundtrack. That is certainly one pretty impressive hidden talent. David Robinson is one of the best big men in NBA history. The 2-time champion won the MVP award in 1995. He was known for being the stalwart of the early San Antonio Spurs dynasty, as well as helping Tim Duncan turn into the superstar he became. Off the court, Robinson was quiet and known for his military service. But what might shock you is that he actually has a hidden musical talent. David Robinson can play the saxophone better than probably any player in NBA history. While we don't know much about Robinson's incredible musical talent, we do know he's been playing the saxophone for decades. His grandfather taught his father and aunties how to play music when they were young. This knowledge was passed down to Robinson as a youngster. His love for music only grew from then on. Since retiring, we have seen Robinson pursue his other interests much more seriously. As a man very focused on routine, he enjoys the creative side of music. It's not just the saxophone that Robinson could play. He's also a very talented piano player with a particular interest in jazz. The former Spurs big man has often spoken about his father's love for jazz. This was passed down to Robinson, and he still plays piano to a very high level today. In fact, in 2020, he was named as the honorary chair of the Gurwitz International Piano Competition, which took place in San Antonio. While it may seem like a strange hobby to have, it makes perfect sense for David Robinson to enjoy having a more creative hobby than basketball. It seems like Robinson is not the only NBA player to have taken up the saxophone. Harrison Barnes is best known for his role on the championship-winning 2015 Golden State Warriors. Barnes was incredibly highly rated as a high school prospect. He was ranked as the #1 prospect in the 2010 recruiting class, having led his high school to Iowa State championship and an undefeated season. He managed to do all of this despite having another focus in high school. Not only did Barnes get saxophone lessons while in high school, but he also sang in the choir. One of his former coaches recalls how funny it was seeing him in a band outfit because of how tall he was even in high school. But Barnes was a very talented saxophone player. While he was never going to pursue music professionally, it's still hella impressive that he developed this skill while also becoming a highly rated NBA prospect. We even got to see a bit of Barnes' talent. On NBA All-Star Weekend in 2016, the league put on a talent competition. Barnes knew exactly what he wanted to do to impress the judges and pulled out the saxophone. Clearly, the judges weren't too impressed because he only ended up finishing 6th. For a long time, Kimo Walker was one of the most exciting point guards to watch in the NBA. The former Charlotte Hornet is a 4-time All-Star and an NCAA champion. He's one of the best college basketball players of all time, but Kimo almost pursued a different hobby instead of basketball. As a youngster growing up in New York, Kimo was an incredibly talented basketball player. However, he wasn't sure whether that was something he wanted to pursue because he was also interested in dancing. Dance was actually what Kemba did to stay out of trouble. He has spoken in the past about how basketball was just something he did for fun, whereas dance was something he was focused on much more in his youth. Kemba was a successful dancer, performing 3 times at the Apollo Theater for the TV show Showtime at the Apollo. If you've ever watched Kemba cross up a defender, it's probably not surprising he comes from a dance background. Kemba has light feet and is incredibly agile on the court, but we almost never got to see him in the NBA, as he probably could have become a professional dancer. Former NBA champion Serge Ibaka has one very impressive skill. While he is known as one of the best defensive players in the last decade, Ibaka can also speak multiple different languages. Having spent most of his childhood in the Republic of Congo, Ibaka moved to France when he was 17 years old. He also spent 2 months in Spain with Real Madrid during the 2011 NBA lockout. These 2 things combined have allowed Ibaka to learn multiple different languages. He showed off that skill in 2018. Ibaka was able to seamlessly switch between English, French, and Spanish while answering questions from the media. It's an incredibly impressive skill to be able to speak 3 languages fluently, but Ibaka actually speaks 4. He also speaks Lingala, a Bantu language spoken throughout the Democratic Republic of Congo. There is no doubt that NBA players are the very best basketballers in the world, but what is crazy is that some of them are even elite in other sports. Steph Curry is one of those people. As well as being a 4-time NBA champion and one of the best point guards we have ever seen, he's also an elite-level golfer. As well as growing into an NBA prospect, Curry began playing golf when he was just 10 years old. He's a 5-handicap golfer, which shows just how elite he really is. The Warriors' point guard likes to spend a lot of time in the offseason playing golf. He even competes in some tournaments. In 2023, Curry won the American Century Championship. During the tournament, he had a viral shot, which was seen around the world. Curry hit a hole-in-one from more than 100 yards away. To be this good of a golfer and the best shooter the NBA has ever seen is just incredible. There are plenty of NBA players who have a passion for other sports, but maybe none so more than Steve Nash. 2-time MVP, Nash is one of the best NBA players of all time to never win a title. He led the league in assists 5 times. But we could have seen Nash playing a very different sport. Steve Nash grew up playing football alongside his basketball. In fact, he was so good that he has previously said he could have turned professional if he had focused on football solely. It just shows how good the youngster was as an athlete, that he had 2 different options that he could have pursued. But even when he did choose to pursue basketball, Nash didn't want to give up football completely. So he would often play football in the offseason when he was away from basketball. Since retiring, his interest in football has only grown further. In 2013, he participated in training sessions with Italian club Inter Milan. As well as being an avid player, Nash is even getting into the business side of the sport. He has often spoken about his love for Tottenham Hotspur and is very interested in earning a minority stake in the club. It's crazy how good Nash was as a basketball player, while also loving his football. What do you think is the strangest NBA hidden talent? Put your thoughts in the comments down below. While you're down there, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.